Hello everybody and welcome to my week 11 team builder video. This will be the last team builder of the regular season, and at this point I'm guaranteed playoffs, so that's pretty cool. So long as I win this game or don't lose it extremely hard, I'll also be the 5th seed, which it's okay. Actually, just checking really quickly because I forget. How much differential do I need to win by to get 4th seed? Oh no, I get 4th seed no matter what if I win. So if I win, I get the 4th seed. Still, I think I should have done better, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, just gotta not let them slip away this time, or slip away next time. So this week I'll be playing Enzo and the Crustle Esportes Club. So he's got a team Celsiula, Feraligatr, Rose Raid, Smeargle, Dredigon, Pikachu, Gardevoir, Landorus, Galvantula, Incineroar, and Lightning. So this week I'm bringing a team of Talonflame, Zapdos, Metagross, Zygarde, Sylveon, and Lopunny. And this is probably one of the most offensive teams I've brought, and the reason that I'm bringing such an offensive team is because this team's really slow. Like, out of all of these Pokemon, none of them break 100 except for Galvantula, and Linoone and Gardevoir both hit 100 on the dot. Meanwhile, I've got Zapdos at 100, Lopunny well above 100, Zygarde, which outspeeds everything except for the 2 base 100s in Galvantula, Talonflame, which outspeeds everything handily, Dilfox, which outspeeds everything except for Galvantula. So I've got a lot of things that are extremely fast that can really outpace his team. So I decided to try and abuse that and bring a much more offensive approach. So here's my Talonflame, and this is my primary win condition this game, just because he really has no answers for it. Celsiula dives to a Flare Blitz, Feraligatr dives to an Acrobatics at +2, Rosewood dives to an Acrobatics at neutral, Smeargle dives to an Acrobatics. Dredigon needs a little bit of chip to die to a Acrobatics. But I do have ways of getting this chip, but I need to get about +2, because I'll be at +2. I'll likely end up Sword Stancing on his Celsiula too. I need to get to about get him down to about 60% to kill in Acrobatics. So I need I want to say actually Feraligatr might need a hair chip. Yeah, I mean it's a roll, but rocks will guarantee it. So yeah, Gardevoir dies to Acrobatics, I'm fairly sure. Oh yeah, easily. Landorus can take one. Galvantula dies to a Flare Blitz. Incineroar can take one, especially with Intimidate, but Linoone dies to Acrobatics. So, yeah, he's got 2 Intimidators and Dredigon, which are really his only ways to stop my Talonflame. So, if I'm able to if he doesn't bring any given 3 of these, which, I mean, these would have to be half of his team, so he probably doesn't have all of them. I'm expecting the Dredigon to come for sure, because he really likes bringing defensive Rocky Helmet. Dredigon, he brings it almost every week, so I'm expecting that to come. He likes Scarflando. He brings Scarflando a lot, and Scarflando is definitely good here because it outruns my Talonflame and it's with a Stone Edge, but luckily I am packing good switch-ins to that. But I do have to be careful about Scarflando Stone Edge to stop me. Scarf Galvantula could kill me, but I don't think you would run Scarf Galvantula. He could, but I don't think he would. Scarf Incineroar he's run before. That does actually outspeed me. I could make it so it doesn't, but then I would have to sacrifice being adamant. And if I sacrifice being adamant, I lose out on some important KOs and some important damage. Against Scarf Landorus, I'm pretty much always forced out, which is unfortunate, unless I actually at full HP, and then I actually get the priority on my Acrobatics. Oh, that actually does a lot more than I was expecting. So actually, I can stay at full and then keep my Gale Wings, then winning could be even easier. But yeah, I not a lot of prerequisites need to be filled for my Talonflame to win the game. Incineroar is the assault vest max HP. Still doesn't take it particularly well. And if I have rocks up, that's still a guaranteed kill. So actually, this probably doesn't have Intimidate. Yeah, but that'd be -1 after Intimidate or +1. So rocks and some chip. But yeah, it's really not hard for Talonflame to win this game. Is the point? I need a hair chip on Lando, or if it's Scarf, which I do have to assume it is until I'm sure it's not. Then I need to scout for that. And if it's Scarf Lando, then that'll always keep me from winning. But I can at the very least claim one every time I get in against Celesteela. Dredagon, I need a hair chip on, which I intend to get. And I would also really like to get rocks up. And my next member is my Zapdos. It's a rather offensive Zapdos. It has enough speed to outrun Landorus. And a lot of HP. And then a small amount of special attack. So this Zapdos spread allows me to OHKO Landorus with HP Ice because of the Expert Belt, and also do pretty massive damage to anything I want to Volt Switch on. And Zapdos will be getting me a lot of momentum this game because his only option to stop my Volt Switch is Landorus, and Landorus cannot take the HP Ice. If he Scarf Landorus with Stone Edge, it will. Oh, Talonflame still. Then it's only doing 71 to 83. He could also be Adamant. It's a possibility, but even then, it's still not killing. And if I can kill the Landorus with my Zapdos, then I am in a very good situation because then my Talonflame is going to run completely unchecked. So this is my primary switch into Landorus, unless I'm switching in on a Landorus that came in to revenge my Talonflame, because obviously he'll probably be using Stone Edge and be Scarf in that situation, and that's not advantageous to me. But in any other scenario, I will be switching my Zapdos into his Landorus. In that case, it's also my Defogger. He has 2 different Webmons, so I do have to be careful of that. I do have to keep rocks off so that Zapdos and Talonflame can continue to do their jobs. His only rockers are Dredagon and Lando, so I can come in on Lando and always get rid of his rocks and always be faster than him too. So even if he Stone Edges as I get rid of his rocks, which I'm expecting Scarf, but he could be Scarf Rocks. Even then, it's not a great set, and if it lets me kill off his Landorus and spams rocks or something, then that's better for me. I don't want to switch this in on Dredagon because the Dredagon he always brings is rocks, Dragon Tail, Glare, Toxic, and I do not appreciate being Toxic or Dragon Tailed out. I mean, it's mainly Toxic. I don't appreciate getting Toxic, but I mean, if I'm in a scenario where I'm pretty sure he won't Toxic, then I might bring this in on the Dredagon to keep the rocks off. But I do have another switch into Dredagon. That's my primary switch in. But yeah, like I said, this is my primary switch into Landorus, except for the scenario where Landorus is in on Talonflame. And in that scenario, my switch in is my Metagross. So I can bring my Metagross and easily eat up any Stone Edges. As you'll see, Metagross at 16 to 18 from Stone Edge, I take it just fine. And it's Scarf Landorus, so this it fills the role of being able to easily switch in and take the Stone Edges. Zygarde also does it just fine, but Metagross can do it and then get up rocks. If I'm sure it's Scarf. If I'm not sure it's Scarf, then I can bring this in on the Stone Edge and then pivot into Zapdos on a potential Earthquake, meaning that he either switches out, revealing that he doesn't have Earthquake, or he stays in and Earthquakes, and then I have my Zapdos in, and I'm in a good scenario, and we'll be able to get some momentum. This is also my primary Linoon check. So Linoon a very dangerous sweeper, but with a scarf on, I'm always faster. And extreme speed, adamant does 55 tops, and um, extreme speed, jolly does 50 tops, and hammer arm is always an OCO. So there's two scenarios: either he expects the scarf and then extreme speeds me and doesn't kill me, and I can kill with hammer arm, or the even better scenario is he thinks that I forgot that Linoon gets Shadow Claw and or Stomping Tantrum, and then just goes for it, and then I kill him with hammer arm. There's also the scenario where you miss hammer arm and then get Shadow Claw or Stomping Tantrum, and then I'm shit down the creek. But my only other option is Brick Break, and that's not an OCO, so I gotta have hammer arm. So next up is my Zygarde. It's just banded, and I chose banded because Zygarde outspeeds his entire team besides Galvantula and Gardevoir and Linoon, and because of that, it's fairly difficult for him to revenge it. He has to have like HP Ice Galvantula, which actually I don't even think kills. Yeah, it doesn't. Even Life Orb doesn't. Well, Thousand Arrows does. And he really just struggles to switch into it. Even Dredagon gets 3-hit KO'd. I can take advantage of Celesteela coming in because I wall Celesteela. I'm faster than Roserade and can Thousand Arrows it. That kills. He really does not switch well into Thousand Arrows. He has 0 resists. He's got Landorus for his best check, and like I said before, weakening if it's Scarf Landorus, which is the only thing keeping my Talonflame from winning, really, then that's fantastic for me to get damage on it. Yeah, it's just extremely hard for him to switch in on. If he is Scarf Landorus, then he'd actually need to be packing HP Ice to even really threaten me. I'll definitely have to scout for that to make sure he doesn't. But Thousand Arrows, if I can figure out that he's not if this is his primary switch in, and I can figure out that he's not actually any move that threatens me, or even HPS doesn't OCO me, then the second switch in I can then actually take care of the Landorus and force a sack. So yeah, even Landorus is only able to switch in once, so he really has extremely limited switch ins. Gardevoir can switch in once, but it really doesn't appreciate doing it. How much does Gardevoir take? It's a roll to kill. So yeah, Gardevoir really does not appreciate switching in. So yeah, he really struggles switching to Zygarde, so I will be bringing my Zygarde in as much as possible. And it's also somewhat of a win condition for me because of this. Next up is my Sylveon. It's pretty invested into defense just because I'd like it to... It has enough investment so that +1 liquidation from Feraligatr doesn't kill it. Because I really... In my first build of the team, I had a Jellicent. And I really like Jellicent because it dealt really well with Feraligatr, meaning that there is no chance of Feraligatr ever sweeping me. But the problem is that I really, really wanted to put Lopunny onto the team. I'll explain why I want Lopunny later, but since I really wanted Lopunny, I needed to replace something, and I felt everything else was vital except for Jellicent. But I really wanted to make sure I wouldn't lose to Feraligatr because I don't have a guaranteed switch in that beats it all the time. So my best way to deal with Feraligatr, I decided, was to throw on, as we'll see later, I have Extreme Speed on Zygarde, as you already saw, which does a solid like 40-ish to Feraligatr. And then I have Quick Attack plus Fake Out on Lopunny, which does 50 to 60-ish, meaning that so long as anything Feraligatr tries to set up on can do half of its health, I'm fine. So Acrobatics easily does half to Feraligatr. Volt Switch easily does half. Brings in Lopunny too, so it's not even a problem if he Dragon Dances. Metagross is actually a bit of an issue. I do need to be very careful with killing things with Meteor Mash, because I will give him an opportunity to set up with Feraligatr. So I do need to be very careful about that. Zygarde has absolutely no problems doing half to a Feraligatr, and Sylveon does about half with Hyper Voice. So if I'm able to even live a +1 hit, then I'm actually able to not only not become setup fodder for it, but also actually beat it one-on-one, which is nice. So this is my primary switch into his Dredagon. I think it's really necessary to have one because I'm highly expecting him to bring it, because he brings it almost every week. Rocky Helmet, Toxic Glare, Stealth Rock, Dragon Tail, and that's it. Can't do anything to Sylveon. I have Heal Bell to negate his statuses, Hyper Voice to damage it, Wish to stay healthy. There's nothing he can do against it except for put up rocks, which is a bit annoying, but I'll have to get rid of him later. I'm running a Harris Videf just because this is all I need to live a +1 liquidation. Just barely, but I'll live it. And I wanted to be able to take psychic moves from, or any move really, from Gardevoir better. So this gives me a good Gardevoir switch in, because I don't want to have to switch in my Metagross more than once on Gardevoir. Because if I get below that 55% range, then I'm risking losing to Linoon, which is not a good look. I do have Fake Out on Lopunny, which I can spam on Linoon, but you've got to sack for every single Fake Out, which is not a good look. So yeah. Okay. I don't know if you heard that. I think it was a train or something. So yeah, that's a Sylveon. It's my primary switch into to Dredagon, but it also can switch in on Gardevoir, and one-on-one it's so long as it doesn't have Wish, and if it has Wish then it gets a little sketchy. But, or maybe Calm Mind too, but even Calm Mind, my Metagross will always come in and revenge it, so I can always just sack for it. But yeah, Sylveon, it's just there to be a guaranteed switch into Dredagon, like I said, and take the pressure off of Metagross for dealing with Gardevoir, because I don't want it to have to be put in a scenario if he brings Gardevoir and Linoon to get damaged by Gardevoir so that Linoon can win the game. Lastly is my Lopunny. It's just fast enough to outrun Galvantula, or no, it's way faster than Galvantula. This is fast enough to outrun Scarf Incineroar no matter what, because he has brought Scarf Incineroar before, and it's a little bit of an issue for my team because I don't switch super well into Incineroar. Zygarde can do it, but not repetitively, and Zygarde doesn't appreciate losing its leftovers if it's knockoff. And it's definitely a possibility to switch in on my Talonflame and try and stop it. So I'm faster than Scarf Incineroar. I have Drain Punch to hit it, Fake on Quick Attack for the dual priority to help deal with both Linoon and Feraligatr, and return. So it's pretty standard. I didn't want to bring High Jump Kick because it can miss A, and B, the only things High Jump Kick can really hit are Linoon, Incineroar, and Celesteela. And Celesteela, especially Enzo, he almost always brings Protect on his Celesteela, so against a team with a Lopunny, he should most definitely have it. And Drain Punch kills Linoon anyway, so I don't need High Jump Kick. This is assuming that he's trying to set up on me, not that like I wouldn't come in and then click Drain Punch as he's extreme speeding me. This is more just to make sure I'm never set up fodder for the Linoon. And I guess I hit Smeargle, but I was gonna fake that out anyways first. So yeah, I don't think High Jump Kick helps me against Celesteela because I'll just get protected and hurt myself. Incineroar is really the only thing it could help a bit against because it definitely helps me with that extra power, but even then, I don't think I need it. And I'd rather have Drain Punch just so that, I don't know, I really don't like High Jump Kick because it's such massive drawbacks if you miss an attack. you're putting a lot of faith into RNG, and I really don't like to do that. So Drain Punch gets the job again done better, debatably, against both Celesteela and Linoon. So yeah, actually, you know what? I should throw on Limber just in case I want to switch in on a Glare from Druddigon. So yeah, that's the team. It's very offensive, and I think I should be able to win. I think the only ways I can lose are possibly getting my Metagross weakened or crit or something by Guard of War, putting me in the Linoon range. That could be very dangerous. For Alligator coming in on a Meteor Mash, and then me just running out of priority to deal with it, things like that. Him getting rocked up and me not being able to get rid of him, or getting webs up as well, could definitely be an issue. But I think so long as I can keep him from getting webs and rocks up, and so long as my Metagross stays healthy, and I'm careful to not let for Alligator set up, I should be good. Even then, I'll need to sack 2 things for Alligator, because like say he comes in on a mash, or like I kill Guard over with a mash and then he brings in for Alligator, which is a realistic possibility. I hope it doesn't happen, but it could. Then I can mash it, get a small amount of chip, or if there's rocks up, then I don't even have to. I can just go hard into Zygarde and then extreme speed it, or hard into Lopunny if I'm really expecting the Dragon Dance, but Zygarde's safer. Extreme speed it. Then actually if he Dragon Dances, I think I can extreme speed live, and then extreme speed again. Actually, I probably don't live. But regardless, I can get the extreme speed off, possibly rocks if I'm able to get him up, plus a Meteor Mash, plus, or depending if I go hard into it or not, extreme speed into Fake Out and Quick Attack after a sack means that I can still deal with it. So I'm not so worried about for Alligator. It's more Linoon. I do have Static on Zapdos as an out. I'm debating whether to go Flame Body or Gale Wings to deal with it, because Gale Wings also lets me deal somewhat with it if I'm able to keep it full, and it helps with Landorus, like I said before. But Flame Body also has the last chance hacks to help deal with Linoon. But yeah, that's the team, and hopefully you can win.